to this Ebola danger. It's become the Republicans' #1 weapon of choice. Howard Fineman's editorial director of the Huffington Post. He's up in New York, and Eugene Robinson is a columnist for the Washington Post. Both are MSNBC political analysts. Howard, I want you to start here. This use of fear, it reminds me almost of the Cold War. In the Cold War, there really were communists over there, but the fact is, I guess there were some here, but the fact of the matter was this use of fear here. One victim in the United States. They somehow tie it together with, well, what was Scott Brown tying it together with? People walking around here, people crossing the border, ISIS, tying it all together into one big fat package of, my God, the world's coming to an end. We need a new party to run the thing.
Yeah, Chris,
it's just a strange thing.
Well, it's strange, but yet familiar in American political life and American political history. And I think the analogy to the Red Scare is right on point. There's just enough of a grain of truth in it all to allow the Republicans to run wild. They've always, at least certainly since the 60s, run on the idea of the other, of the outsider, of the stranger, of the person or force that's unnamed that you should fear. And the current vessel for that started with the border and immigration from the South, legal and otherwise. That didn't really fly with the American people or the Republican Party because the Republican Party's divided on it. Then they moved after the beheadings to ISIS, the Great Fear, even though that was in Syria and not in the United States. And now, of course, Ebola. And you put all three of them together, and fear, raw emotion, can, if allowed to be unanswered and unchecked, overrule the rational mind in American politics. And it's the challenge of the president and the Democrats in the last 2 weeks here, 2.5 weeks, to say, look, the Republicans have nothing to run on but fear. They have no program. They have only irrational fear. We have the answers. We have the way forward. And that's really going to frame these last 2.5 weeks until the Senate is decided, if it's decided on November 4th.